Hello all. In this session, we'll discuss the rules for writing electronic configuration. Electronic configuration means the systematic arrangement of electrons in the atom. The systematic arrangement of electrons in the atom is called electronic configuration. What is the meaning of systematic arrangement? So, for example, if this is the nucleus, where the electrons are going to be in the 1s orbital or 2s orbital or 3s orbital, into which orbital the electrons will first move. All these rules are explained by Niels Bohr and all. Okay, based on those rules, we are going to explain the systematic arrangement of electrons, which we call electronic configuration. To explain the electronic configuration, we have three important rules. The first one is Aufbau's principle. Aufbau's principle is very simple logic. Electron first enters into the lowest possible energy. Lowest possible energy orbital. Of all the available orbitals, check which is having lowest energy. First electron gets into the lowest energy orbital, then into next like that. So that is Aufbau's principle. Electron first enters into lowest energy orbitals. Otherwise you can say in the ground state of the atom, the orbitals are filled in the order of their increasing energies. Meaning is same. Electrons first enter into lowest energy orbitals. So what are the orbitals that are known to us? 1s orbital, then 2s orbital, 2p orbital, then 3s orbital, 3p orbital. Interestingly here, 4s orbital, after that 3d orbital, after that 4p orbital. 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, here 4s is there, then 3d, then 4p, so on. If you remember up to here, you can write 36 atomic number electronic configuration, but that's actually enough. But in order to know the complete orbitals, we should know the Euler's diagram. 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f, 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f, 6s, 6p, 6d, 7s, 7p. These are the available orbitals till now. You take a scale and have some lines. The first lowest energy is 1s, then 2s, then 2p, 3s, then 3p, 4s. If you put some lines like this is the energy order. Okay, now start from here. This is the lowest one, 1s, then 2s, then 2p, 3s, then 3p, 4s, like this. Okay, so this diagram is called Euler's diagram. Euler's diagram. Okay, next is you can go for Bohr-Bury's principle. Bohr-Bury's principle. This principle will help you to find out the energy of the orbitals. For example, n plus L rule if you see, then you can find out which is having more energy. Very simple. N plus L more value, energy is more. If n plus L value is more, energy is more. Very simple logic. See, 3d and 4s orbitals I want to explain. N plus L value. See, this is n value. For d orbital, L value is 2. For s orbital, L value is 0. N plus L is more for 3d orbital, that is 5. than 4s orbital, which is 4. So 3d orbital is having greater energy than 4s orbital. So you are going to decide on the basis of n plus L rule. N plus L rule. Second thing is, sometimes n plus L value will be same. If n plus L values are same, then just see n value. Higher n, higher energy. Higher n value, higher energy will be there. Then 3d and 4p orbitals, just let us see this example. N plus L, n value 3, 4 here. D orbital L value 2, p orbital L value 1. So in both the cases the value is coming as 5. Now n plus L values are same. When n plus L values are same, you need to take the higher n value, and here the n value is 4. So 4p orbital energy is more than 3d. Now this you are going to decide based on the n value. So this rule is called Bohr-Buris principle. If n plus L is more energy. If n plus L is same for two orbitals, higher n value, higher will be the energy. About Auer's principle, electron first enters into the lowest possible energy orbital. Then Hund's maximum multiplicity principle. You can pronounce like Hund's also. Maximum multiplicity. Maximum multiplicity meaning is there should be more number of unpaired electrons. But maximum multiplicity principle. Hund's maximum multiplicity principle means whenever degenerated orbitals are there, like px, py, pz, equal energy orbitals are called degenerated orbitals, like d orbitals, dxy, dyz, dxz. Whenever such kind of orbitals are available, then pairing of electron takes place. Pairing of electron takes place only after all the orbitals are filled with one electron. Now you see, all are filled with one electron, then pairing starts. For example, these d orbitals, one electron is there, second electron is there, don't pair up, given a separate one. Third electron is there, fourth electron, fifth electron, all orbitals are now filled with one electron each. Now pairing will start. So in the d orbitals, if you want to pair up, minimum 6 electrons are required to get pair. And in p orbitals, there should be minimum 4 electrons to start the pairing. Hund's, or you say Hund's maximum multiplicity principle is the pairing of electron takes place only after all the degenerated orbitals are filled with one electron each. Here degenerated meaning is having same energy. Degenerated orbitals. One more is Pauli's principle. Pauli's exclusion principle it is called. Pauli's exclusion principle has two types of statements. The first statement is no two electrons in an atom can have same set of 4 quantum numbers. Can have same set of 4 quantum numbers. What is the meaning of this? If 4 electrons, if 2 electrons are there in an atom, those 2 electrons cannot have all the 4 quantum number values same. 1 may be same, 2 may be same, 3 may be same, all may be different, but all cannot be same. See one example. For example, helium I am taking. Helium electronic configuration is 1s2. So n value, L value, M value and S value. 4 quantum numbers for first electron and second electron. If you see, the orbital is same orbital beta, first level orbital, so n value same. S orbital is there, L value same. For if L value is 0, M is also 0 beta. So all these three values are same for both the electrons. But first electron spin is taken as plus of, second electron spin is taken as -100. 3 may be same, but all are not same. Okay, now don't think that all must be different. 1 may be same value, 2 quantum numbers may be same, 3 may be same, but 4 can never be same. Okay, this is Pauli's exclusion principle. Otherwise, you can say an orbital can accommodate a maximum of 2 electrons with opposite spin. This is right. This is wrong. This is wrong. One orbital, when you are showing with one box, it can accommodate a maximum of 2 electrons with opposite spins. Then this is about the Pauli's exclusion principle. Then based on this, you should know the electronic configuration from 1 to 30 elements. Like hydrogen, CBSE students, you learn like 2, 2, 6, 2, 8, like that you learn better. But now from +1, +2 level onwards, you must know like this better. Hydrogen's electronic configuration is 1s1, helium 1s2, lithium 1s2, 2s1. See here one interesting question you can see in books. What is the electronic configuration of lithium if Pauli's principle is not known? What Pauli was saying, one orbital can accommodate a maximum of 2 electrons. If Pauli's principle is not there means, one orbital can accommodate any number of electrons. So lithium electronic configuration will become 1s3 if Pauli's principle is not known. Okay, these type of questions you can see in all the books. These are all imaginary questions. We know the Pauli's principle, it has to be followed. If it is not there, so it is an imaginary type question. When such kind of imaginary questions are there, just be careful. Lithium configuration will become 1s3 if Pauli's is not known. Absolutely blunder it is known, and the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s1 only. Like this you need to go up to 30 elements. In all your books it will be given better. 1s2, 2s2, or you can simply say helium 2s2. In place of 1s2 you can write the noble gas configuration. Boron 1s2, 2s2, 2p1, carbon 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, nitrogen 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, oxygen 1s2, 2s2, 2p4, fluorine 1s2, 2s2, 2p5, and neon 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Okay, I have up to 10 I have written, remaining all are you can go in the same flow bit. But there are some exceptional electronic configurations. About that we'll discuss. Most important are chromium and copper bit. Chromium, we should see it as 3s2, 4s2, 3d4, and this as 4s2, 3d9. But practically they are not like that. It is 4s1, 3d5. It is 4s1, 3d10. This is called exactly half filled configuration, and this is called full filled. 3d5 is half filled, 3d10 is full filled bit. So whenever half filled or full filled possibilities are there, definitely they will go for this kind of exception bit. So chromium is an exception, copper is an exception, atomic number 24, atomic number 29. Just have a look at such kind of exceptions. I will give you all the exception cases where the important electronic exceptions are there. Why these exceptions are taking place? First you see, if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this we are calling half filled stability, half filled electronic configuration. Why this is stable? Very simple logic. Here in this case you can see the first electron can exchange itself with the remaining all electrons. But in the same way, second electron can exchange with the next 3. This can exchange with these 2, and it can exchange with this one. So total number of exchanges possible are here 10 exchanges possible. More the number of exchanges, more will be the energy loss. When more energy is lost, the stability will be more stability will come. I'll explain one more, then you can easily understand. See, if this is the case and I am taking this as 1 electron bit, This electron cannot exchange with any other. So D1 no exchanges are possible, but not possible, you can say. Two electrons are there. So this can exchange with this one. So when D2 electronic configuration is there, one exchange is possible. One more electron, this can exchange with this. These two also can exchange, but so D3 configuration, if you see, there are three exchanges possible. D4, if you see, there are 6 exchanges possible. So total 10 exchanges are possible here. More the number of exchanges, more will be the stability. Simple logic. More the number of exchanges, more will be the stability. This you can apply in D5 and D10 configurations. Remember, an unpaired electron can exchange with unpaired electron only. Otherwise, place of spin can exchange with only with place of spin. If one, for example, if an electron is there, if you want to change with all this, that is not possible because its spin is different. Okay, fine. Next, the special electronic configurations I wanted to mention, niobium. Okay, atomic number is 41. It is 5s0 4d5. Special case 5s1 4d5. Palladium 5s0 4d10. Silver 5s1 4d10. These are all exceptional cases. Actually, in 4D series, majority elements show the exception. Okay, but these are as important, I am saying. One other point you remember, cerium to lutetium, the elements are called lanthanides. Cerium to lutetium, the elements are called lanthanides. Of this, the interesting is the general electronic configuration. When you are writing, what we write is 4f1 to 14, 5d0 to 1, and 6s2. Generally, students won't concentrate on such kind of things, but the specialty is here. Only cerium and lutetium, and in between there is an element gadolinium. They are only having 5d1. Rest all are having 5d0. Out of 14 lanthanides, 3 only I am mentioning, cerium, lutetium and gadolinium. Remaining 11 lanthanides, they will be having 5d0 system. Only these will be having 5d1 system. Okay, now these will be having 5d1 system. This also you can keep in your mind. If any kind of exceptions they are asking, you can remember this. Okay. Platinum is again exception case. It is 5d9 6s1, where palladium is 4d10 but platinum is 5d9. Okay, now when you are seeing into books, you will be getting easily. Now see Pauli's principle, Hund's principle, Aufbau's principle. They will ask you like this: of the given electronic configuration, which rule is not followed? So I am just giving you some questions. See question number 1. This is 2s orbital. Say this is 2p orbital. If the electronic configuration is like this, which rule is not followed? An orbital can accommodate a maximum of 2 electrons only, but here 3 electrons are there. So Pauli's rule is not followed. Pauli's rule is not followed. Remaining rules, there is no need of thinking here. Question number 2. If this is electronic configuration, which rule is not followed? Before completing this one, electrons are jumped here. Okay, now so this is not following Aufbau's principle. Aufbau's principle is not followed here, because here you see one by one electrons are filling. So Hund's rule is following better. And one orbital can accommodate maximum 2. So here only one electrons are there. So no question of discussing about Pauli's principle. But it is not completed, so Aufbau's principle is violated. Look at this. Consider all these 2s 2p orbitals only. I don't write again and again. Which rule is not followed? Pairing taking place before filling with one electron. So this is out. Which rule is not followed here, beta? Hund's rule is not followed. You see this one? 2 electrons are here. Good. 1, 2 electrons are there. It is following all rules. Okay. One by one they are coming. And again, no pairing is taking place. maximum 2 electrons are there. So it is following all the rules, but it is following all the rules. Look at this. 1 1 1 1 1 2. Here you see 2 electrons are there, but both are having same spin beta. Same spin not accepted. One orbital, 2 electrons with opposite spin only. So it is not following Pauli's principle. First electron, second electron, third electron, fourth electron pairing taking place here. It is okay. It is following Hund's rule, no problem beta. Because don't think that electron should come from this place. No, all are equal energy orbitals. You can start from anywhere. So it is following Hund's rule. The only problem is with the Pauli's principle. Look at this. One electron is here. Pairing taking place and this. Which rule is not followed here? First, it is not completely filled. Bose principle. Immediately pairing without going into this one. Hund's principle. In that pairing is also both electrons are having same spin. So Pauli's also. So no rule is followed here. Bose is violated. Hund's rule is violated, as well as Pauli's principle is violated. So there is a chance of asking questions like this. There is a scope. Along with this, one last line we'll discuss related to this point. Paramagnetic nature and diamagnetic nature. Ferro. In solid state, we'll discuss few more. Okay, ferrimagnetism, antiferromagnetism, we'll discuss about that one. Para, dia and ferromagnetic characters. One line we'll see. This is due to unpaired electrons. The first one. Due to unpaired electrons. This is because of paired electrons. This is, you can say in simple word, too much paramagnetism. You learn much better in your physics. Here, simple basic lines will say better. Paired electrons, unpaired electrons, and based on that, if all electrons are paired, that is diamagnetic. At least one unpaired electron, that will be paramagnetic. It is attracted by external magnetic field, weakly attracted. It is repelled by external magnetic field, and this is highly attracted by the external magnetic field, like iron. Okay, a magnet attracts iron more better. So iron is one good example of ferromagnetic compounds. So paramagnetic, weakly attracted. Diamagnetic, repelled by the external magnetic field. Ferro means highly attracted by the external magnetic field. For you, the questions are related to this bit. To calculate the paramagnetic behavior, we have magnetic momentum, where the formula is n into n plus 2 square root under root of n into n plus 2, where n is number of unpaired electrons. Number of unpaired electrons only. Unpaired electrons. Unpaired electrons, right? See, if n is equal to 1 beta, that means one unpaired electron is there. Mu is equals to under root of n into n plus 2, that is 1 into 1 plus 2, that is root 3. Root 3 is equal to 1.73 Bohr magnetons. Okay, so in simple sense, what we can say, if n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maximum 5 only we'll discuss, because d orbitals can accommodate 5. F generally we don't discuss. Mu value in Bohr magnetons. One Bohr magneton is equal to EH by 4 pi mc. You will get in your physics, don't worry here. If it is 1 unpaired electron, the mu value is 1.73. If it is 2, you can say 2.8. Around 3 onwards, it will be 3.8 or 3.9, 4.8 or 4.9. Approximate values I am saying. So what you need to remember is, the shortcut, what you need to remember is, whatever the magnetic momentum value is given, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, that many number of unpaired electrons are there. If the magnetic momentum is 4.8, 4 unpaired electrons, 5.9, 5 unpaired electrons, 2.8, 2 unpaired electrons. So this you can directly utilize here. What type of question they will ask you? Once JEE mains question they asked, V plus X compound has mu is equal to 1.73 Bohr magnetons. Find X value. V plus X, V to the power plus X means oxidation state of vanadium in the compound is plus X, but I am mentioning. If the compound showing the magnetic momentum of 1.73 Bohr magnetons, what is X value? This is direct question. like I think AIEEE mains type of exam. See, very simple logic beta. Vanadium is 4s2 3d3 electronic configuration. 4s2 3d3, 3d3 means there are 3 unpaired electrons, 1 2 3. But what is our mu value? 1.73. Mu value 1.73 means there should be only one unpaired electron. Now what is your job? You need to remove these electrons better to have only one electron. But the problem is you wanted to remove these two electrons, but first these electrons gone, because actually 4s orbitals are outside than 3d. So whenever you want to remove 3d electrons, first of all you need to remove 4s electrons. So you removed 4s2 electrons, gone, then 3d2 electrons, gone. So totally you are going to remove 2 electrons from s orbital, 2 electrons from d orbital. You need to remove total 4 electrons. So here vanadium oxidation states must be +4. Vanadium in the +4 of oxidation state, it loses 4 electrons, 2 from s orbital, 2 from d orbital, and only one unpaired electron will be remaining. Because of that unpaired electron, the value is going to be 1.73 Bohr magnetons. Just for your idea, I will give you one more question. Copper plus X, magnetic momentum value is 1.7 again. What is X value? What is copper electronic configuration beta? Copper is 4s1 3d10. Okay, they mentioned that this is a compound beta. Copper plus X they mentioned beta. So copper plus X, the compound is what type of compound it is. Now copper only means one unpaired electron is here, but you are saying copper compound. So copper compounds are generally Cu plus or Cu plus 2. But the thing is here there should be only one unpaired electron beta. 1.7 means there should be only one unpaired electron. So what you need to do is you need to keep only one electron there beta. D10 configuration is there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. All are paired. If you want to make one unpaired electron, you need to remove this last electron beta. For example, let's say this last electron is going out, you wanted to remove this last electron beta, but before this last electron you need to remove 4s1, because after this 4s orbital is also there. So here copper oxidation state will become +2. First electron is going from 4s orbital, one electron is going from 3d orbital. Overall you are getting the copper +2 oxidation state, where mu value is going to be 1.7. Okay, so this is all for atomic structure. We'll discuss few important questions of atomic structure in one session. Done. Meet you next class with some other topics. Good day. Signing off, Lakshma Reddy.